Gonna go over some dragons that Mr. MB3, I think he sees them, but he doesn't point them out. He is allowing people the chance to discover it for themselves, because nothing convinces a person more so than that which they discover for themselves. But there's about 5 in this first video, and then we'll go over some others, but these are just from the last week.
To Ottawa, Canada, Nathan Golden, 6'5", 2025, looked up and saw this.
So we're getting ready to see one right there, from the bottom left to upper right, or bottom left to top center, and waiting for another one.
Looks like a white submarine in the daytime sky with no wings, no sound, and no flashing lights.
Right there, from the right side to the upper left. So that's 2. That might have been a bug. And there's one in the upper left corner right there. There's 3.
I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that. It's not a
and waiting for the next one.
Let's don't move that fast. And I don't know if the camera is just simply
right there, upper left screen, there might have even been 2, so that's at least 4. And then here you can totally see it when he puts it in modified.
It's leaving a little bit of a vapor trail behind it. Don't know what to make of that either.
From the bottom left to the upper center, it was in modified, you could totally see it.
By something else, maybe a heat exchange or something, but here's an inverted view. Light is dark, dark is light, and there you have it.
And that might be it.
I'll leave it up to you. Close. This wasn't making any close. This wasn't making sound, and no flashing light, and no flashing light. Daytime sky, in its appearance, the daytime sky, the daytime sky. The camera's just simply out of no. The camera's just simply out of no. The camera's just simply out of behind it. Don't know what to make of that either. What to make of that either.
This will be another compound UFO video where he's analyzing video of a UFO, and then we have other UFOs flying through the screen.
The coast of California. Check this out. These objects here that you're about to see were spotted by Alexis Hobbs, and you don't see anything, right? This was on 6/9 of 2025. She saw these things way up in the daytime sky. There were 2 traveling together, and they appeared to be also traveling towards the south. Watch what they're doing. They accelerate. One will make a circle around the other, and then the other one will speed up and then make a circle around it. Very unusual activity. These aren't long and slender. These are round. They appear to be the same exact size, not making any sound, no blinking lights, obviously no wings or tail fins on these. These appear to be some sort of energetic orbs in the daytime sky at probably around, 10,000 feet. Maybe 12. It was difficult to tell exactly how high, but they were up there. To tell exactly how high. Exactly how high. Time sky at probably around, 10,000 feet. Maybe 12. It was difficult to tell exactly how high, but they were up there a pretty good ways. I'd say at least a couple of miles, because when she pulled the camera back, did you notice how they almost collided right there? When she pulled the camera back, you couldn't even see them. So she's very heavily zoomed in right now. And again, I would say these are at least 10, maybe 12,000 feet. Not making a sound. You see that white speck right there? Something appeared and disappeared very, very quickly.
Now, when he saw that little speck appear for such a brief moment, it's logical to think that he sees these other UFOs that are flying through the screen as well. He just doesn't draw the attention of the viewer to it. He leaves those as Easter eggs for you to discover. Watch that again. You'll see the little tiny white speck appear for a millisecond, and then there's another one or two that fly through the screen in this same video.
1,000 feet, not making a sound. You see that white speck right there? Something appeared and disappeared out. You see that white speck right there? B. Not making a sound. You see that white speck?
So here I've managed to stop it on the one frame where one of these UAP dragons appears to fly pretty close to the camera. It was difficult to get it stopped on this frame. But if he's seeing that little white speck, he sees these other larger white orbs flying through the camera, and he also sees this. He's demonstrated his ability as an image analyst in enough cases that clearly he could stop it on this frame and show you what I'm showing you too. But he's doing a delicate operation trying to make this revelation process as smoothly as possible, transitioning people from one world into another. And he's not trying to show you everything. He's trying to allow you to discover it for yourself.
When she pulled the camera back, you couldn't even see him. So she's very heavily zoomed in right now. And again, I would say these are at least 10, maybe 12,000 feet. Not making a sound. Do you see that white speck right there? Something appeared and disappeared very, very quickly that was also white. Appeared to be smaller. Now this one's kind of pulling away, then the other one will catch up. It's almost as if they have their own propulsion system. It's almost as if they're under some sort of intelligent control. They don't appear to be random balloons just kind of drifting around in the daytime sky. These act like they're under intelligent control. Now watch what happens as they continue to move across the sky. I don't know, it may be 100, 120 mile an hour. Again, it's difficult to tell because they're very high up in the sky. But notice how the clarity is starting to dissipate, as if the object itself is starting to disappear. Unless maybe they were starting to disappear. Starting to disappear. Is starting to disappear.
So here's a freeze frame of that one that goes through the screen in this direction and continues out the bottom. Mr. MB3 can see these. If he can see that tiny white flake that appears for a millisecond, he can see these also.
Mile an hour, again, it's difficult to tell because they're very high up in the sky. But notice how the clarity is starting to dissipate, as if the object itself is starting to disappear. Unless maybe they were gaining 20 mile an hour. Again, it's difficult to tell because they're very high up in the sky. But notice how the clarity is starting to dissipate, as if the object itself is starting to disappear. Unless maybe they were...
This one's going to be difficult for me to capture right as he says the word starting, but they were starting to disappear. Right as he says the word starting, a white flash goes off over here, and then a white flash right here in the center.
Oh, but they were starting to disappear, as if the object itself is starting to disappear. Unless maybe they were gaining altitude and it's just difficult to tell, but they were starting to disappear. But they were starting to disappear.
Here I was able to freeze frame it on this one, right in the center. I think that's as far in as we can zoom, 8x. And it only appears there for such a split second. That's exactly the same thing as Mr. MB3 caught when he said, you see that little white flake there. If he's able to catch these little white dots that appear for a split second, he can see the other ones flying through the screen. He just chooses not to draw your attention to everything, and it gives you the opportunity to discover those things at your own pace. Okay, so what you're going to see here is one of these little dragons zip across right there. He's filming a UFO and another one flies through the screen. And it seems to create a jump cut in the video. And when this happens, this main object drops like 10% of the screen distance, depending on what size screen you're watching it on.
Yeah. Speaking of perplexing, maybe you guys can help me out. Troy, New York, Lee 613 of 2025. Yesterday, looked up and saw this cruising through the sky above New York. This guy to begin with. Speaking of perplexing, maybe you guys can help me out. Troy, New York, Lee 613 of 2025. Yesterday, looked up and saw this cruising through the sky above New York. Up and saw this cruising to the up and saw this cruising to the up and saw this cruising to the sky this cruising to the sky.
Okay, so you can definitely see that there's some sort of jump cut right there, because this main object itself goes from about here and it goes down to about here right as that other object flies past it. Is that some sort of electromagnetic interference from the passing UFO that zips through the screen at the same time that created something like a jump cut within the video? I don't know, but I just thought I'd show you. All the links to the full videos that I've taken pieces from will be in the pinned comment and description of this video.
Local authorities say the plane crashed into a medical college hostel just as students were eating lunch. Dozens injured, at least 5 thought to have died.
And even till now, I have to say I'm in a state of shock.
Local authorities say the plane crashed into a medical college hostel just as students were eating lunch. Dozens injured, at least 5 thought to have died.
Dozens injured, at least 5 thought to have lunch. Dozens injured, at least 5 thought to have lunch. Dozens injured, at least 5 thought to have dozens injured, at least 5 thought to have.
So the first frame where you can see it, it's right up here just to the left of the one. And now it's right here center screen. And if you don't know about these UAP dragons, surely you'd say, well, that's just a bug. When all you know is bugs, then bugs are all you see. But when you know that these little UAP dragons, as we affectionately refer to them as, are photobombing half of the videos out there, you no longer jump to bug. Well, what difference does it make? I'll talk about that in a future video, that what difference does it make mentality. I find myself slipping into that mentality. So what if the trees are burning on the inside all around us? What difference does it make? So what if there's all these little UAP dragons surrounding us, swarming us like flies that are doing 2,000 miles an hour? What difference does it make? It makes a world of difference, and our world is slipping into the past, and we are all going to be in a new world, and that is what difference it makes. We are being introduced to that new world right now, but soon everyone will have to go through it simultaneously, shock and awe, a near-death experience, an ego death, relinquishing your grasp on your self-image and the worldview that you have always had, simultaneously at the same time when everyone else in the world is forced to do the same. Talk about this more in an upcoming walk and talk. I don't want my neighbor hearing me getting all irate. But that's what difference it makes. It makes exactly 3 worlds worth of difference. The world that we've always known, You know, it's the end of the world as we know it, as you've heard. The world as we've always known it, that's one world. The world as we're going to be living in, as we will come to know it, that's two worlds. And the other world that already exists outside of our known reality, that's been there the whole time, that we're going to become acquainted with. The world that we currently live in and that we always have, the world that our world will be transformed into after we discover the existence of this other world that was beyond our perception of reality. It makes 3 worlds worth of difference, and one of those worlds is about to no longer exist, so enjoy it with a feeling of nostalgia while the remnants of it still exist all around you. Now, I've known that Mr. MB3 can see these little UAP dragons for a very long time. Ever since way back in 2019 when he made the Woodbury fire video, and he's literally pointing at them. He zooms in on them for you. He throws it into inverted mode for you. Not so you can see a smoke cloud of a fire, which is the surface level presentation. He is also giving, for those who can see, a secondary layer of a presentation of these UAP dragons flying around during the fire. He doesn't throw it into an inverted mode so you can see a smoke cloud. I suggest you watch the original MB3 Woodbury fire video because it does lose a little bit of clarity through the recording process, but nonetheless, here we go. I'm going to fast forward through this first part till we get to the dragon presentation part.
First, 4 p.m. Mountain Time, 2019. Welcome to summer, guys. Today is officially the first day of summer in the Northern Hemisphere. In this video, we're going to take a look at the Woodbury fire burning 20 miles to the east of me. It's consumed now over 60,000 acres. Yesterday, I drove to the East Valley, or the Far East Valley, and I got a pretty good look at this wildfire burning up in the mountains. It's moving towards the north, towards Roosevelt Lake. They've got all kinds of advisories out for the area. No campfires. They're even telling people they can't smoke cigarettes outside. They would prefer that people smoke cigarettes inside. It's consumed now 66,000 acres. It's 42% contained. Here's a little video I did yesterday from about as close as I could get. I could have gotten a little bit closer, but I stopped because I had a pretty good view from this area right here. Here's the Woodbury fire from June 20th. Reporting from Southeast Phoenix, looking at one of the biggest wildfires I think I've ever seen out here in this area. That's close. That's within 20 miles and getting closer. Burned over 50,000 acres. From what I understand, it's 41% contained right now. Nearly 900 firemen out there working on that. But there it is. It's visible from my house. It's visible when the wind is low. Earlier, just 30 minutes ago, it was real high up in the sky over there. Right over there. It was up in the air a little higher. You can see the wind has picked up a little bit, but at times you can see it really clear. It's been like that since June 8th. A little over 10 days. I'm going on 2 weeks now. But anyway, there's a look at the wildfire from Southeast Phoenix. That's the Woodbury fire, right over there. Thursday, June 20th, 5:30 p.m., 2019. There's a look at it yesterday, and as you...
Here I'm going to play it at 0.25%. You can see them zipping all over. There went 3 of them. A pack of 3 of them. There's a few going back the other direction. There's a few in the background hovering stationary. They're all over. And this is why he put it in inverted mode for you. Now it's not zooming in for me. Okay, here I'll just circle them. If it'll let me do that. There's one here. There's one here. And there's one over here that are all stationary. And there's a bunch of them zipping in all different directions. I'll rewind it and pause it where a pack of 3 or 4 of them are cruising across the screen left to right. Link will be in the description of this video. Then he throws it in inverted mode. So you can see those things zipping around. He didn't throw it in inverted mode so you could see a smoke cloud. You can't even see that. There went the pack of 3 of them moving left to right. Once again, you can't even see the smoke cloud when it's in inverted mode. So he's trying to show you these, but he's not going to say it because it's not for everyone to know. And I'm getting to the same place where I'm not going to share everything I experience with everyone. There went another pack of 3 of them along the top, left to right. And this is at quarter speed. There, he zoomed all the way in on one, and then he zooms out from it. He's doing that to show you what there is to see. And that's not just in a still frame, hovering because it's a still frame. He shows you video of them hovering in place, like those that I cited. There's one right there. They got this new trick where every time you tap the screen, it throws it over to the advertisement. It's real dirty, low-down bullshit. There's one right there. As he zooms in, you can see it's staying there stationary. This is a still frame of the pack of 4 of them that are moving from left to right. Here they are in inverted mode. That's why he put it in inverted mode for you. And in this video, I've slowed it down to 0.25. I'll slow it down again to 0.25, which will make it down to 1/16 of normal speed. Here I'm gonna play it at 0. It really doesn't help too much that I did that because you can really only see this pack of 4 of them for like 2, maybe 3 screens, 2 or 3 frames of the video. But we'll watch this and we'll call it a video. There you go, 3 frames. Ashes don't fly in packs. Bugs don't fly in packs. He was showing you these intelligently controlled craft or beings or whatever they are moving around in this fire. That's why he zooms in on some of them and zooms back out. That's why he throws it into inverted mode. So you can see these, and he gives you the opportunity to, but he's not going to point it out to everyone. Likewise with his more recent videos where he shows you he can see a little tiny white speck flashing on the screen for a millisecond, but he doesn't point out the 3 or 4 others that are flying through the video because he is trying to gently ease people into the perceptual awareness of these things that are all around you and not throw you into shock. But that shock is what's required. That's what induces the near-death experience and the ego death, which is part of an initiation where you get broken down and then built back up. And when you discover that these things are all around you at all times and you are powerless because you can't even perceive them, how could you possibly create any sort of a defense? You are at their mercy. When you find out these are all around you, there goes your old world. And he's trying to gently nudge that process forward. That's why he doesn't show you everything that he can see. But he does things like this to give you the opportunity to see it for yourself. Not bugs, not birds, not ashes. We call them UAP dragons. It is yet to be determined what the world will refer to them as when the world discovers their existence. But for those of us that are at the leading edge of this field of research, some of us just call them dragons. And in that part of the video where he zooms in on one, not 4 of them like we're doing here, he zooms all the way in on one and then slowly zooms out. He is doing that for you to be able to hopefully, possibly see what it is that he zoomed in on, hovering there in the sky. MB3 can see these things. He is participating in a process of discovery and disclosure of an alien force and an alien presence that's all around us, that is so foreign to us that if we were all exposed to the truth full strength, it would throw us into shock. So he's giving us an inoculation, a little dose, so that you can develop a mental immune system so that when you get the full exposure, it doesn't kill you.